Our next guest today is Pat Clements, the owner and operator of Clements Ag and Seed. Is that correct, Pat?
Clements Ag Supply.
Clements Ag Supply. Did it used to have seed?
I began my career as a seedsman, but as we expanded our product line, I changed it to Ag Supply to reflect the more diverse product line we have.
Okay, okay. And you've been in operation how many years?
I have been in business since March of 1977, Lisa, getting to be quite some time ago.
I can't believe you're that old, Pat.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Classmate of mine.
Yes. I was hoping you'd bring that up.
St.
I wouldn't
Catherine
have to.
classmate.
Yeah. Had some good times.
Oh, yes, indeed. So you started that in 77.
That's correct.
After because you went to UK.
I was at St. Catherine's and I was at UK, and then this opportunity presented itself, and my family was able to back me in this endeavor, and away we went.
Because, Pat, now this business at one time you took, it was some of your family members, correct?
Correct. I'm a successor to my Uncle John Johnson, who spent probably 25 years, I believe, in business there. And the basis.
Where you're located now?
Yeah. No, he was up there where Springfield Wholesale Supply is now, the seed building, we call it.
Okay.
He built John Johnson built that, and that building was designed to process Kentucky 31 fescue. In the heyday of Kentucky 31 fescue, it's named because it was discovered in 31, but by the 50s, farmers all over Kentucky were producing it and shipping it all over the nation. It was such a popular grass. And that business was built primarily to process and package and ship farmers' fescue seed from all over central Kentucky.
Wow. That's
so
pretty
that
neat.
was the beginning of it.
That's a nice history lesson.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you bought the business from
That's
him.
correct. Yes.
And you were located at that
spot at 220, I believe, is the address
Hill.
on Lebanon Hill.
Yeah.
And as we grew, of course, that building was state of the art, 1955, and we needed a single-story clear span warehouse where we could accommodate forklifts and that type of stuff. So I had an opportunity to buy the building down the road. That was Charlie Walls' body shop at the time, and he had moved on to his successful career in music then, and so I bought a few acres there, and that was in 1982, I believe.
Okay.
And then.
And at that time, you not only were you were doing something besides the seed. How did you expand?
Well, as it evolved, every time someone in the area would retire, I would acquire their product line. And over the course of these 38 years, I've absorbed all or part of 8 different businesses from around central Kentucky.
Such as?
Probably one of the first was when Mr. Connie Riley, who had the Purina feed mill right down here on Ballard Street, he wanted to retire from the feed business. So I bought his inventory, and with that, he passed on the word to all of his customers that I was now going to be the Purina feed dealer. And then a few years later, David Carney.
Down at Mooresville.
David Carney down at Mooresville wanted to move on to a different career and got out of his family's bulk fertilizer business. So we acquired his equipment and moved it to the Lebanon Hill location and put up a warehouse. And sometime in that period, there was also some family members in Nelson County who retired from the distribution arm of Pioneer Seed Corn. And
those were Keens.
Those were Keens, that's right. My mother's
out on
brothers.
Bloomfield Road.
Exactly.
Was it Berner?
Billy and Twyman.
Billy and Twyman
were in the seed business. Uncle Bernie was is the last surviving sibling. He's still alive and lives in Bardstown. He spent his career in agriculture and some public work as well. He was a state representative.
Right.
And he was also ABC commissioner at one time.
Right. And he worked with me on the Board of Habitat.
He
Well,
did,
yes,
indeed,
indeed.
yes. I
Yeah.
remember him coming over here to the
Right.
Sorghum Festival to work the Habitat booth.
Fine family, Pat.
Thank you, thank you.
I love all the Keens from Bardstown. And so you acquired their business,
Some parts of
some
it, yes.
parts of it, and brought that in.
And that's it. That was here, and they had a man about the same generation of them named Harry Bolin in LaRue County, and he wanted to retire from the seed distribution business. So we acquired a part of that territory, and at our peak in the distribution business, we were distributing all of the Pioneer corn that was sold in a 10-county area here in central Kentucky.
Wow.
Now, subsequently, that Pioneers changed their distribution system, and we're not involved in the wholesale distribution of it, but we are one of the largest single location dealers of Pioneer seed in the state.
Okay. So, Pap, my not being a farmer, explain this to me. So, do people just come in from their farms that need seed for their fields to grow
Anything?
anything?
Yes.
They just come to your store and get it.
They,
Do you deliver things?
what has changed is the size of the operation over the years. So the walk-in business is still a viable part of our business, but the largest part of our orders are delivered by us. And many of the largest customers we have may never come to the store but once a year, and some not at all. But we're in constant contact with them. We text, we email. The whole system has changed in the way you communicate with people.
Right.
That's true for every business.
Right.
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 Technology's changed the way all of us do business.
Do you have a web page too?
I have a website through an advertising company for one product line, our cattle trailer line. But no, I do not maintain an active website.
Okay.
But we're in constant contact with these people via text and email. And so a lot of the orders are done electronically, and they're simply delivered by my company to these people near to the time they want them. But certainly there are also a large group of people who would just walk in and say, I'm going to plant this field, tell me what I need, and we'll have it there for them.
Okay. So like corn, hay, what?
Any of it, yes.
What
Corn,
else?
soybeans, wheat,
Wheat.
any of the forage grasses for the livestock industry. Anything
So
you
to
need
feed
for
the
about any crop.
cows and
Yep.
any of your livestock.
Yes. Yes.
So, and of course, as we well know, our farm operations have gotten a lot bigger as well. I mean, so it's not like just a small family farm anymore, although I think in our community we are beginning to get some of that back, and I'm happy about that, but we also have the large operations.
Absolutely.
And so I suppose that's where you do a lot of business with these big farms.
We have focused really on commercial agriculture. You refer to what I like to call lifestyle farming. Maybe some backyard poultry, a few head of livestock, and that is a very prevalent thing, and it is making a comeback, and it is a good thing. Our specialty is more the commercial operation, the business of farming, as opposed to the lifestyle of farming. But we accommodate all of them from top to bottom.
Right.
But the volumes of business that we do, and the reason we have the facilities we have, and the fleet of vehicles and the staff we have, is to serve the commercial agricultural community in we really are trading in about an 8 or 10 county area here in central Kentucky.
Okay. Marion, Nelson, Washington, LaRue, Mercer,
Bull, Anderson.
Green.
Yes, we've reached out to every one of those counties. yes.
Okay. So you have people how many people do you employ?
Right now I have 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they'll deliver these things to these big farm operations.
Not only do we deliver them, many of them we will apply to the field.
Oh, my goodness.
So a lot
You
of
actually take it out and
a lot of the bulk
plant it?
fertilizer. Yes, yes. We don't do much planting, hardly any, but a lot of the pesticides are applied, and a great amount of the fertilizer that we sell now is custom applied by us. It's a service that I can put the staff together to do, and that leaves the farmer to focus on planting and getting the crop in the ground in the spring. So custom application's a very big part of our business. And
okay, a fertilizer
Yes.
and
plant nutrients, yes.
pesticides and things.
Mhm.
Okay. So now, I know you've got these big buildings out there.
Mhm.
So, and I think you just built another, is that a
Mhm.
warehouse to keep all this stuff?
Yes,
Or,
yes,
you
yes.
say you
We,
have trucks
as
and
the
things and-
as the business grew, two things happened. First of all, in the seed end of it, there was a lot of emphasis put on getting the product much earlier than we ever had. So maybe in the 70s and 80s, when I began my career in the seed business and began growing, we may not receive any seed till March. Okay?
Because you have to order it
Yeah.
from these
But now,
big seed companies.
the whole production system for grains, and I'm talking primarily corn and soybeans, that has all gotten so large that the companies who produce those and that we market for, such as Pioneer, want us to start receiving much earlier because they have nowhere to put it.
I was going to say, yeah.
And if we want the very best varieties, the ones that our customers demand, we want them early. We want to get them before somebody else does, okay?
Yeah.
And then they began to compensate us a little bit to do these things earlier. So, as I like to say, you dangle the carrot in the direction you want your donkey to go, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so that was the reason for the large seed warehouse that you see there
Okay.
on Lebanon Hill. Now, behind that, we've erected yet another building. And that is because in the fertilizer business, that too has, if you go start back at the field, the farmer is moving much faster than he was, okay? His equipment is larger and his staff is larger. So he can cover a lot more acres in the day than he used to. So that meant that my fertilizer facility, which was built in 1992, and really was designed for someone to come in a pickup truck and hitch to a small spreader and take some home, well, that's all antiquated now. We have a machine that'll go as fast as this farmer's planter. So the building that we have, which we used to, we might run out of fertilizer once every 2 weeks. Now we run out in about 2.5 days. So we have to have a much larger pile to sip on, I call it.
Wow.
We can't have 3 loads of a product. We got to have 10 loads of a product available for a big rush. Now, and another thing that's led to us having to store more fertilizer is the river distribution system. Most fertilizer moves by river barge, and we pick it up in Owensboro, Louisville, and Jeffersonville, sometimes even Cincinnati, and occasionally Nashville. But that river system doesn't move any faster than it did in the 50s, 60s, 70s, okay? So we got to get a bigger stockpile because the river transportation system is not moving any quicker than it was earlier. So
Yeah.
those are the reasons that these facilities have been built, is that we have to have more product closer and have access to it quicker than we did 20 years ago. And though it's represented a tremendous investment on our part, it is a necessary thing to do to stay in the business and to be a player in the business, and we are and intend to stay a player.
Yeah. Well, farming is big business in Kentucky, and
It's big business in Washington County.
exactly. So, how many farms would you say you service in not only Washington County but altogether?
Well, I think last time I checked, I have around 400 accounts that I
Wow.
service. But 40 of them would make up 75% of the business.
Okay.
Just, you know, that's very true with most businesses. But
Yeah.
so we have a lot of customers, but we have a lot of big customers too.
Right.
And we have some of the biggest and finest operations in the area, and we're very
Well,
proud of that.
Well, for goodness sake, all you have to do is drive out the road and see the McCains. I see all these, or the Osbornes. I
Correct.
never saw such big machines in my entire life.
Yes.
And it's like you said, they cover things, they cover territory, the farm ground pretty fast,
They do.
I'd say.
They do. And so I have to look in my rearview mirror and see all of those corn planters and grain drills coming at us.
Yeah.
And we have to get equipped to stay in front of them. So that's the reason we've grown as big as we've grown and as fast as we've grown.
Yeah.
We have to keep up with our customer.
Yeah.
To keep them as a customer.
Well, Pat, I was thinking at this time in your life, you might be interested in looking at retirement at some point. And here you are just expanding. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to get those boys back home to and girls and
Yeah,
run this operation.
Well, we'll see. They've all got successful careers right now, but they're welcome anytime. But that's their decision.
Yeah.
And I have a great staff, and I would retire if I didn't have such great help. They enjoy the business. I enjoy the business, and we all enjoy working together. So every day that we all come to work is a great day.
Yeah.
So when you have a good group of people around you, and you enjoy the work you do, and they enjoy the work we do, retirement doesn't look that attractive.
Who does
And besides, I'm pretty well committed now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're
Yeah,
you're
with the
around
last-
to
yeah,
stay
the-
now.
These expansions, I'm pretty well committed. But you know, really, the important thing is to have health. If you have health, you're always. I'm happy to go to work every day,
Yeah.
and I feel good every day. So that's not a factor.
Well, and Pat, aren't you farming on the side as well? Don't you
I
still have
do,
your
but now I have
cows? Or?
I have a farming operation. Yes. My family, my brothers and I own some land in the Lincoln Park area, and we have a farming operation that we have together.
Because your dad farmed.
My dad farmed, sure. My
and,
uncle farmed.
Yeah.
We've been able to keep those 2 tracts of land in the property, and we've been able to buy a little in the neighborhood and expand it. So
Out on Lincoln Park
yes,
Road.
we enjoy.
Because when I
having those
drive out
acres.
there, and you've got land right behind the Mordecai Lincoln House.
That's correct. That's
And
correct.
aren't there cows?
You know,
back
I
there?
like to tell everybody I learned to drink, smoke, and cuss in the Mordecai Lincoln House as a kid. 'Cause my father sold that in the early 70s to the state.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, that was a part of a tract of land he owned. And my classmates from high school and St. Dominic's and I had a weekend retreat there. So we have a lot of good memories from,
I did
staying
not
in the
know.
Mordecai Lincoln House.
I did not know that.
We sure did.
Well, it's of course that's a beautiful old home. I'm glad the state was able to take it and
Yes, it
restore
was good.
And
good.
but I know you have that land behind it, and I don't know how many cows you have, but I do see cows on both sides of the road. I guess.
Yeah.
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 And so now so I guess when you get home from the office, you've got to go out and feed those cows, correct?
Well, my brothers and I share all those responsibilities, so we get along fine at it, and it's not too hard on any one
Would
of us.
that be Keen and
Keen and my brother George.
and
yes.
George? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Well, good. And so, do you think perhaps you might get those children back here? Maybe George, your son George. Where is he now?
I don't know. My son George is in St. Louis with Monsanto,
Right.
and I have another son that's a civil engineer with the city of Lexington. My daughter Ann Laura is a science teacher at Georgetown Middle School, and my baby daughter Rose is with Child Protective Services in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
Just started her career there in June.
I can't wait to hear about that.
So they all have successful careers.
Yes.
And
well, I knew at least one was still kind of in the farming because I know
He's in
George got
agriculture,
his
yes.
Degree in.
And he's classmate with your son Ben.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think his degree was ag, economics,
It
or
did
something.
plant and soil science.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. So, yeah, you've got that when they've got that farming in their blood, Pat, I've realized this from the farmers I talked to in Washington County. Once a farmer, always a farmer.
It's hard, yeah. It's
And
nice,
and
it's a nice life.
it's it's in your blood. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and it's not. Some people look at it as a boring lifestyle, but it's not. It's a very exciting industry to be involved in.
Right.
And I'd encourage anybody, and I think we're seeing more of this at the high school, of children that aren't traditionally farm kids getting involved in agriculture, and it's a great thing. It's a great career. It's a good industry to be involved in.
Right. Well, it's exciting, and I just interviewed the Serrano Alpaca and Yarns.
Mm-hmm.
They have alpacas.
Yes.
And you probably serve them too.
I know them. Yes, I know them.
And so,
well.
I mean, we've got so much agriculture here in
A lot of
various
diversity,
different
yeah.
ways, a lot of
Yeah.
diversity, and so it's very exciting. And now you've got Rita at home who just takes care of everything.
That's right.
So, and she's
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Yeah.
She's the woman behind the man in this operation.
That is
That's
correct.
For sure.
That is correct.
She
No
has
disagreement
she keeps
whatsoever.
it straight, of course.
Yeah.
So, and
And you
but
know that can be a job at times.
I would say for sure. So now the business is open Monday through Saturday.
We're open 5.5 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close at noon on Saturday.
Close at noon on Saturday, but
Okay.
really from about the 1st of April to the 1st of July, we are very dedicated to meeting the needs of our customers and whatever that requires, hour-wise, weekend-wise, night-wise, we are there for them, because many of them are running 16 to 20 hours a day, and if we're going to serve them and keep ahead of them a little bit, then we're going to run 16 to 20 hours a day as well. So we'll get it pretty hard there for about 100 days every spring.
Yeah.
Real hard.
Well, I know
but
that.
it's the key to meeting the needs of that customer.
Right. Well, I know that it's been hard to get you on the show because you farmers are anymore.
We are.
You
We're
had
busy.
seasons when you were busy,
Mhm.
but anymore with how you say the agriculture business has expanded,
Yeah.
you're busy all year long.
We are. We really are. We're it's a very can be a very hectic schedule, but it's fun because it makes time go by. But
Yeah.
there's not a lot of rest, just not a lot of time when there's nothing going on.
Right.
There's much more intense times, of
Uh-huh.
course, and that's planting for
Uh-huh.
us,
Right.
and planting and harvest if you're a farmer. But
Yeah.
even right now, we're receiving seed, we're working equipment. I actually had a crew in they were in Boyle or Mercer County today, spreading fertilizer. So we had 3 men up there with our big John Deere applicator and a nurse rig, and then of course you got to have an escort truck with it. And we're receiving the seed I was talking about. That's still flooding into the place on a daily basis, and we're working on that new fertilizer storage facility, trying to get it tricked out and ready.
Uh-huh.
And then of course we have just a huge animal feed business, and we're right in the heart of animal feeding season right now. It's about 100 days of it as well, starting around Thanksgiving and goes on through February and March, when this whole group of calves that were born last spring gets shipped out of the county. So we have feed trucks lined up to be loaded, and it goes on all day, every day.
Wow.
It's an exciting time.
It is
So it's
exciting.
great to have a good bunch of people who get in
Yeah.
there and get it done.
Well, if no one's ever been out there to see your operation, I mean, it's pretty awesome just to see,
Well,
all the
thank you.
things
Yeah.
going on and all the big equipment and all the stuff and
A lot of activity, isn't it?
It's a lot of
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah, a lot of dust flying most
Yeah.
days.
And I do have to ask this: can people come out and get just plants if they wanted to, plant a few tomatoes?
I have not.
Just
we-
curious.
Yeah, we've, as I said, we've kind of chosen consciously to devote our efforts to commercial agriculture.
Uh-huh.
We felt like, we really not going to be able to serve both of these clienteles the way they should be.
Yeah.
So I as other stores and Southern States and Lowe's and Walmart grocery stores and things started to carry garden seed and plants,
Uh-huh.
we kind of steered away from that and said, look, we are going to be the commercial agriculture supplier here in this county.
I see.
And it's just because of the fact that, you know, you want to plant your garden about the same day that somebody wants to plant 1,000 acres of soybeans.
Yeah.
And that garden is important to you.
Right.
So we were afraid we couldn't serve you as well as you need to be and should be served. So
Yeah.
we don't carry those smaller garden and yard type items.
Yeah.
We're not much on. We just have virtually none of that.
Yeah.
We're pretty much devoted to the commercial agriculture business here in Central Kentucky.
And it's proven to be very successful.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make it last.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going that way, and I don't see any reason for it to do otherwise. Because, you know, as I said, you know, Central Kentucky is big on farming.
We
and
are.
And we're blessed with that. So, and I'm glad that your operation is doing so well.
Well, thank
and
you.
I'm glad I could get you on the show today.
Well, I was happy you chose a good day. I said, boy, I can get this done, and
yeah.
I know you've been wanting to have me, and I love to talk about agriculture, so I was happy to get down here and talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's very interesting. So, thanks for being here. And
Thank you all for having us.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, Pat.